Hello everybody, welcome to the Hank Cisco Show. So don't touch that dial. We have a young lady here today who is quite the business person, and I've been very excited to get her on here. Her name is Colleen Kehoe. And Colleen is not just your normal hairdresser salon run-of-the-mill. She's a very special person with a lot of years experience. And Colleen, it's a pleasure to meet you in person. I know so much about you. Tell me a little about first off, what's the name of your studio?
Studio 8 Color.
Studio 8 Color. So how did you was it like on 8th Street or something like that? How did you get the name?
Well, it's 8 West 5th is the address. And
8 West 5th
is in Bridgeport.
In Bridgeport, right.
Mm-hmm. And it's the 8th salon I worked at, so I decided to combine them.
Combining eights.
8, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you hear this, go play that number today, okay? Anyhow, so you've got the Studio 8 salon. Let's go back a little bit. Tell me a little bit how I always wonder how people get into different industries. What's their motivation? So how did you get into this field of salons and all the different things? And we'll get into all the stuff that you handle. But tell me a little bit how you got into it.
Well, my mother was a hairdresser, and I used to actually go to beauty school with her, and I would go to work with her. So it's just in my blood. I didn't know what I was doing, and I cut my friend's hair in high school. So I've been doing it pretty much forever.
You went to the beauty school and everything else, and then in high school you decided
to hang around the salons.
And then you decided to cut your
friend's hair after school.
Are they still your friends?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they were still your friends after you did it? Okay, good. Yeah. Well, then you knew what you were doing.
Cut a couple knuckles, bleeding, but that's good.
What you got, yeah. So now, your studio, I think you told me that your studio originally, that you're now in, was owned by your mom. Yeah. And that you worked there, and we'll get into how you redid this whole thing, but in between you worked in your mom's studio, but you also have gone out and worked in other fields, as far as with other organizations. So tell me a little bit about some of the other salons and spa areas that you worked in, because I think it's important for people to know you're not a one-trick pony, so to speak, that you really have a background in many facets of this industry, which is extremely competitive, and a lot of people think they're good and they really aren't. So tell me some of the other places you've worked in.
Well, of course, as a young girl, I assisted my mother in places that she worked and her salon. So, and then when I got my license at a very young age, I went to work at other salons. 18.
Oh, really? 18? Oh.
Yeah, I was on the floor cutting at 18.
Wow.
A long time ago.
No, not that long.
So I worked at different salons, and then I went to work for a very large salon, and then I decided to go smaller. And I wanted to open up my own, and by a bad experience at a salon, I wound up working at my mother's. And that was quite a ride. We had fun.
So you went and were working at your mom's at the end, so that worked out pretty good for you?
Well, then she left.
And then she retired. She said
she retired.
She retired. And
she did. She did.
That's good. That's good. That means that she felt secure with that. So now you're at 8 West 5th Street in Bridgeport, and I think it's real important. Now, before we get into some of the stuff that you had, what is the bulk of your people that you do, as far as is it women, men, kids? Tell me a little about where you focus on your practice.
Well, I right now for the last several years have been a color specialist, so it's just women and their haircuts and color, and I would do them. When my mother left, she had an older clientele, so I had that clientele plus my own people, and that kind of dwindled through the years. All those older, they've all since passed, bless their hearts. So that allowed me some more time to be home with the family, and I condensed my clients within two and a half days. So, but I do a lot of variety of things in the salon, besides just hair color.
So you do women, obviously. Do you do many kids?
More so now, yes, and men. More male cuts.
Now you're working with doing male cuts.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed the trend. It's funny. It's interesting because back in back in the day when my dad would take me to get my hair cut, it was the barber shop with the barber chairs in a row and guys singing, and all the guys are there, and there's a guy polishing shoes and stuff like, and then where there was a little whiskey in the back for the older guys that came in. The Italian guys, there was always wine in the back, and they talked about the Eagles and everything else. But now I've noticed, because even myself, I wind up going into a regular salon where the majority of are women, but there are a lot of men that use these salons today.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have that stigma anymore. So you're getting more men into the salon.
Well, I found the need with the growing area that there needed to be a salon that men could go to and not just the barber salon. More of a personalized thing. They could ask more about skincare. Men are really taking a different trend to themselves. They're more groomed with their facial hair and their eyebrows and the fades. So it's a real specialty now.
Yeah, I can remember my father's eyebrows, and I promised myself I would never have them. You could actually almost comb them over your head. His brows were so long. But
they need cutting.
And my brows are just like my father's brows, so I definitely have, and you won't find that in the barber shop.
Well, they are manicured.
Well, the barber shop, they would just take the razor and just take it right off.
Too close sometimes, I think. You need a little bit.
So, but you find that the men, how about for coloring, with men with color? Do men
definitely
come in and do color?
We call that gray blending.
Gray blending.
And you have to do that very natural. It can't have any warmth to it. It has to look very natural. It can go lighter than their natural hair. So you just kind of comb it through and blend it.
And blend it so that it...
And beards, too.
Yeah, you know, so a lot of times, there's a couple of my friends who have no gray hairs, but they have gray beards, which is really weird. And you can do the beards also. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it just gets to be more and more services for them.
Yeah, that's
and there's skincare too. Men don't know where to go for skincare. They don't know who to ask.
Now here's something that's a big thing. There is the complaint that's been out there. It's, you know, with the society we have today, they complain, oh, women cost more to get their hair done than men. How do you do that? I mean, what you're talking about with men look like it could be a little bit of time consuming too. So how, you don't have to tell me what your rates are here.
Right.
But do you have different rates for different things, or is it pretty much you want hair color, this is what it is, as opposed to?
Well, it's based upon, you know, how much time. If you're going to just do like a buzz cut for a child, you know, you're not going to charge for someone when you're grooming their eyebrows and their ears and the beard. So you just have to modify it for the time. But in the years I've been doing it, I'm pretty fast, so it's not that lengthy of time.
Yeah. So basically what you're
speed.
saying is a guy comes in and, you know, he has relatively easy hair to deal with. You know, it may only take a couple minutes to give him a nice groom. Obviously, from a standpoint of timing, he's going to be paying a little bit less than a woman with real, you know, shoulder, you know, long hair, and she has to be all that. I would assume that's the case. My hair takes about 4 hours to do, just to let you know. So, I'm only kidding about that. But let's go through some of the services that you have, because you have quite a bit of services. And what I'd like you to do is explain to the people here a little bit about you know, your background in all of this. Now, we talked about the hair, so you actually color the hair. And I think I got a dummy here for a second. I'm just going to pull her out. So you'll take someone like this and cut their hair and trim it up and color it. This is kind of a normal length thing. So I'm going to put her down. She does not get interviewed, so just keep that in mind.
She doesn't talk back, though.
So
she's the best customer.
She's the best customer to have. But you also, so we've talked about the color.
Yeah.
And when you talked about men and how you try to blend it. Now, with a woman, it's a little bit different. With their color, how do you go about determining the right color for a woman?
There's gray coverage. There's, you know, I specialize in dimensional color, so there's multiple colors, highlights and lowlights, which would go in the category of dimensional, and color correction. So there's a lot. There's so much.
What's color correction?
Somebody messes their hair up, or they've gone orange. I have the ability to correct that and fix that. So
You know, I have heard stories about
there's
that.
a lot, yeah.
You know, where the hair
They
gets
try to save $1 and it
and
costs
the
them
ha-
$200 to fix.
And the hair is burnt or something
Yeah.
like that.
Chemical haircut, yeah, it
Have
happens a
you
lot.
you've seen that and you've had and you treat that?
Yeah, a lot of people color their hair. The young girls, they color it, they temporary color black, and that's really hard to get rid of. That's a day in the salon corrective color.
So would you
There's
warning young people right now, if you
I
want to
wouldn't suggest it.
go real black hair,
Yeah.
just be real careful because
Expect wanting a haircut, maybe.
yeah, okay. So so they should actually contact someone like you before they go out and,
Yeah,
and do it.
but it's also finding the color that's best for the person.
Do you try to blend up their skin tones?
Yeah,
and
their
stuff
skin
like-
tone, if they need to be cool or warm, giving a nice shine and a condition treatment. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So then
it
another
looks like they got a professional look.
Yeah. So next thing is skincare. So
It's a loaded question.
yeah, I mean skincare. I mean you can go from serious acne problems to skin that's kind of lost its luster, its elasticity,
Exactly.
too much sun, things of that nature. So how do you go? You know, what's been your experience in that? How did you get that experience, and how do you treat some of the people that come through your door?
Well, again, my knowledge of skincare comes through my mother. We've always been around the skincare industry, and I think it's with the right product. We have a medical grade product that is not over the counter, so it has some like C and BioClear. You hear a lot in different products on the commercials, but you never know how much they're going to give into that, how much glycolic is in that product. So this medical grade, you're assured, and it doesn't have a lot of preservatives in it because it's not over the counter. So that really helps with collagen, because we lose collagen.
So what you're saying is that some of the over-the-counter, some of the stuff is, they say they may have C,
C
vitamin
product.
C in
Yeah.
it, or some other collagen in it, but the amount of it's probably pretty low. But in your case, you have medical grade type
Yeah.
of stuff, which helps you to do better treatment.
And there's a delivery system of the cellular compound of it that it's going into the skin.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of preservatives in it, like shelf lifetime,
Yeah.
because it's pure.
So that skincare becomes a complete type of feature. So someone comes in and they could really be in your shop for a couple hours, probably, if they wanted to get skincare and hair and everything else like that.
Well, I mostly retail and educate about the skincare, other than the other place,
Yeah.
the medical spa.
Well, I know there's the medical spas,
That's a
but
different
but that's a
location.
whole different. That's a
Yeah,
whole
that's
different
fun.
thing. And we'll ask you a little bit about that
Okay.
because I know you get into the medical spa
That's fun.
arena, so that's pretty fun.
A whole
so,
nother-
so now you've got the hair color, you treat that, and obviously working with your mother's clientele, senior citizens, you've been able to help probably a lot of those young ladies maintain their hair. How about the young person, the young woman who has thinning hair? Do you see much of that? I've seen more of that lately, where a woman in their late 30s or in their 40s, they've had, when they have children, sometimes that
Yeah.
affects, and they have hair loss. Do you get involved in that at all?
There are shampoos and treatments that to stimulate the scalp and to get the toxins out that can help slow that down. At the medical spa, there's maybe a laser treatment to help with that. A lot of women are doing hair extensions now. So that's really big industry. Clip-in, hair extensions.
Yeah, I think Steven Tyler from Aerosmith started that.
You think he did?
Because he's all extensions in his hair. He has to be. Every time I've seen him close up, and I said, "Yeah, he's got extensions in his hair."
And the tennis player that wore the bandana with all the hair.
Oh yeah, that was Andre
Brooks.
Agassi.
Yeah, who knew?
Andre Agassi was actually going bald, and he had all the extensions.
had all
in his
those,
extensions
yeah.
in his hair.
Fun.
And I assume you do those too.
Yeah, sure.
extensions. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So now you go into skincare, and then there's makeup. Do you do like wedding?
Sometimes,
Sometimes
yeah. In the
wedding.
past, I've done a lot of that, or stage work
Stage work?
for models, you know, at the hair shows.
So you'll go in as a contractor
Yeah.
to go in and do the makeup,
Or the whole wedding party,
or a whole wedding party,
or
you
just
go-
a lesson.
Yeah.
You could just teach somebody to put the right colors on, what works better for my skin, to mineral products. We have to learn contouring and highlighting. So
It sounds like a pretty...
a lot of the young girls are with it, though, because of YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, I went to volunteer at a American Idol for teens, and I was the makeup, but most of them had their own thing because they YouTube so much.
You know, one thing I notice is, and I've been an athlete most of my life. My wife, in fact, we met training for a triathlon.
Oh,
So
wow.
she never wore, and still doesn't wear much makeup because of her athletic styling that she would do. But it seems to me that the young girls today just seem to wear so much makeup.
The eyebrows are a little too aggressive
Right,
sometimes.
and the makeup on their skin and everything else is just so heavy. It's like it's got to take them an hour just to get ready to go to whatever they're doing.
They just don't have the right product, the right color, because makeup is just to enhance someone's beauty. It's just women are beautiful, and women are beautiful without makeup, but they can bring out certain features and contour and stuff. So it's about finding the right color.
Yeah. Something else that I find is that men today, there's been several articles in men's magazines that I've read that men are into makeup also, and that there's whole lines of men's makeup that are out there for men to put on.
I don't know too many guys into that. That would be more for stage work, theater, TV.
Some guys I know that people, and I know this for a fact because I've seen people who give large seminar hearings, and they've got cameras and everything else like that, that it's not only their ability to communicate, but also they have to have a half-decent appearance in the glare on their skin or something like that. So not that they're using heavy makeup, they're just using skin tone stuff to go down. And I think a lot of the men's stuff I've seen is kind of on that order.
I think right now men are just starting to get into the skincare end. They get razor bumps and rashes, and they don't know where to go and who to ask.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little trend for that and a little thing that we could offer them.
Well, one of the things for me personally, as you notice, or maybe you haven't noticed, I've got very curly hair.
You do.
And my beard and everything is curly. And I used to get a lot of ingrown hairs.
Yes.
And it could be very painful at times.
Cystic acne
yes,
causes.
it could be a real pain in the neck, literally.
Yeah.
And so I went and they did electrolysis first, which was, it was okay. It wasn't a lot of fun. But I got the best results.
Time consuming.
Very time consuming. They treat each hair individually.
And hope that they got the right follicle.
Right.
Right.
And but then when laser came in, I went right to it. And when I got, I think it was only 2 laser treatments, it pretty
Saw a
much
difference.
it pretty much ended the ingrown hairs problem that I had on my neck.
Well, laser hair removal is done at a medical spa, so it has to be backed by a doctor. And the machines are very, very expensive.
And you get into that too.
Yes. I also do work at a medical spa. So laser hair removal is really popular because the laser is attracted to the hair follicle. So you do that in a series. You do 1 month, 2 months, and you get each new cycle of growth. And it's called permanent hair reduction. It will get rid of most hair, but it will not do any gray hair because that laser's not attracted. It needs pigment.
Can you color the hair before you laser it?
No, it has to be in the skin because you're killing the follicle with a laser.
So in other words, if it's a gray hair, even if you colored the gray hair, it still won't.
No. So get your laser now.
Get your laser now if you want to lose it. I know the big thing was guys with hairy backs,
Yes.
and they were doing a lot of lasers.
It's really fun because they're not as brave as us. It's really fun to do. Sorry.
I think you have it is. I've always laughed at these shows where they're doing the waxing, and the guy's going to wax his chest, and they rip the hair off his
really
chest.
Bad too.
Yes, I think Adam Sandler one scene. It was pretty funny.
That always is a good scene. That hurts. Waxing hurts.
Waxing hurts. But yet women do it.
Yeah, and men.
And men do it.
Or
too.
laser.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Yeah. Your choice would be the laser versus the waxing.
I like the more aggressive treatments.
Because then it's gone.
Because then it's you've tackled it.
But here's the thing about waxing that I think is important, that also removes dead skin. when you wax somebody's body. It removes dead skin, and the skin becomes softer and cleaner.
We don't really promote that. Maybe the laser would help because you're putting that heat into the skin and that's stimulating collagen. I would think more so that.
Okay.
What waxing is more, it's pulling the hair from the follicle.
Right.
So it's not killing the follicle. So the myth is that the more you wax, or it'll come in thicker, which is wrong. The more you pull hair out of a follicle, it'll in time not come back.
So over time.
Yeah, over a long period.
But
of
it
time.
also would also pull off any dead skin that's on your
True, yeah.
on there too.
Yeah.
And you also do waxing, I think.
I do.
Yeah. Is that a big part of your business? No, not too.
No, when clients come in, they get any facial hair removed.
Like lips and
Yeah, lips,
and
eyebrows.
eyebrows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
It works out.
and then you have and I was going
Airbrush tanning?
Yeah, I'm going to you do airbrush tanning in your salon, and I'm going to hold up a couple pictures a little bit later on of your salon. So you do the airbrush tanning as opposed to the...
Well, that gets followed up with skincare because the sun is our enemy with skin, and we need our sunscreen. So it's nice to get a natural tan for your event, or prom, or wedding, or just for the weekend.
So your skin spray-on doesn't look orange or anything else like that?
Seamless, even. I use the product that they use for Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I physically spray it, and it comes out in a fine mist and a gun. And it's really natural. I usually
long
do
does it
someone's
last?
face just to give them, try it out, because people are really nervous about that. Because the different TV shows that we've seen with some horror stories.
Yeah, yeah. I always picture the orange body.
Right.
Afterwards.
I think it was Friends.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
I know there's one.
Ross.
How long does the spray tan last?
About 5 to 6 days. When your dead skin cells come off, it sheds off lightly.
Will it work through? I mean, you could shower and it doesn't come off.
And it doesn't stain your clothes. That's another myth.
So if you do the spray tan, then it'll stay on for maybe 4 or 5 days, even though you shower and stuff like
yeah.
that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's natural. It's
Didn't know
nice.
that. And I guess you get a lot of wedding parties and stuff like that, like that stuff. So now,
It's a healthier option.
yeah, yeah. So of all these things you do, what would you consider your strength in this field? And you've been doing it for what? I mean, you're 20 years old, you've been doing it for 40, 30 years?
30 plus, but I choose not to.
not to talk about that.
Yeah, you
So
know.
well, yeah, but you've
I'm
been
trying to
doing it-
reverse time,
Yeah, but
you
you've
know?
been doing it since you've been 2 years old. So
Maybe, right? We can say
So
that.
yeah,
That's great.
absolutely.
I like that. I like that.
That's one of the reasons why you come on this show, because we make
Yeah.
you feel good no matter what.
Well, I think the strength is that because I'm in so many different levels of the beauty industry, how am I trying to say this? I have the ability to help people with their appearance, whether it's their skin, their makeup, their hair color, what looks best on them, and then take them over to the medical spa and reverse time. Skin resurfacing.
So you're really
as a whole.
saying your main strength is the overall
Yeah.
person itself.
But I do mostly hair color and cuts and men's cuts and children.
And cutting hair is really, the bulk of your time is in that, but you really consider your strength is
Yeah.
the whole, because you've been doing so long.
Yeah.
It's almost like in your genes, and that you can,
Well,
work
it's really
that.
fun with all the technology right now. People aren't going under the knife. They're getting non-invasive product treatments, spending a little more time at the med spa and not under the knife, and can definitely see results in reverse time. Body contouring, laser hair removal, skin resurfacing,
Yeah.
hydrofacial.
The medical spa that you also work at, I assume they do Botox and fillers
They
and all the
have
other
somebody
stuff.
come in to do that too.
All that stuff,
Because
too.
it has to be under a doctor.
Right,
Yeah,
obviously,
I did say that.
obviously, that. Now, since you've been in this business, and you've kind of grew up in it, but I'm sure you find, if there's a young person out there looking at this show and wants to get involved in this field, in the beauty field, because then there's a lot of young people that seem to gravitate toward it. What are some of the things that they should put on their checklist that they should do? And then what are some of the things that they should kind of stay away from? Can you maybe enlighten us a little bit about that?
Well, the industry is always changing, and there's always people that have been doing hair for a long time. They're leaving the industry, new people come in, and the trends change. But the kids come out of school and they want to make money right away. They're eager, they're excited, and my advice would be to take the time to learn under another stylist. I've done that before, and I've had people shadow me, and I would do some teaching. But sometimes they want to jump right into the chain salon, and they're learning quantity and not quality. So that kind of takes them a step back. So they need to learn.
So the first thing is that, well, obviously they have to get the licenses and everything
Right,
else before they
yeah.
even branch into this. So what you're suggesting is don't go into a chain salon, which we know, I don't want to mention any names, but there's a number of,
Yeah.
of them out there where you can go in and, you know, right off the street and you get your haircut. Try to stay away from them and try to find yourself a mentor in one of the beauty
start
salons
out.
that you can maybe shadow or learn
Or do
how to
both.
or do both.
You know, so you're getting that experience. That I myself went to a chain salon in the last year or so to brush up. I was like undercover boss to brush up on my men's cuts with fades and stuff. So I got to see what was going on there. It was kind of neat. I didn't tell them I was a business owner. It was fun.
But well, you were probably, well, you made money. Well, I'm sure you made money while you were there, but you actually took a learning experience out of it.
Yeah.
So a young person, learn as much as they can by the books and get your license, and then go into a salon as opposed to a chain salon. I would assume when they go in those salons, they probably have them washing hair and things of that nature first.
Yeah. And you don't get paid what you're going to get paid behind the chair.
Right, that's true. So there is this learning curve in this, what you want to call this apprenticeship
Yeah.
that starts out at a very low level.
But they're getting it firsthand, you know.
But let me ask you this question, because there's people looking. In today's market, and I'm just talking in generality, for a young person, get their license, goes to a salon, and they start them out at washing hair, what would they realistically see as their possible hourly rate from what to what? $12 to $18 or something like that?
Maybe, depending on the gratuity, if they're blowing people's hair dry or applying color.
Oh, that's right.
That's a wide variety. If they're
tips.
apprenticing somebody, they're going to get a gratuity and help out.
And I'm sure that's a big part of the business too, is the gratuity aspect of this
Yes.
thing. So really, you know, a young person has to learn how to be kind of very tuned into their client, ask them questions, talk to them, how's your day going, things of that.
It takes a long time to, well, they have YouTube, but it takes a long time to learn the consultation. So that's why when somebody's experienced, they're going to know more on that consultation.
Well, as
what do
far
they
as-
want? What do they?
Yeah, as far as, but if they're learning, starting to come in, and
Right.
I've had my hair washed by the person who just started.
Right.
And it's really interesting. Some are a little bit afraid to talk to the client, and others really just get right into it. How's your day going? You know, is the water too hot? Is it too cold? They do they start
Yeah.
taking their baby steps into
Right.
it. And it's always interesting to see how they work that.
Well, it's based on their personality. I
Yeah.
mean, some people are easy to talk to people, some people aren't, but it's based on how much they've been around that industry. I remember a long time ago when I worked in a big salon, the young girls that came in, I would see their personalities change. They were that shy girl, and in 6 months, they're laughing with my customers and on a friendly basis.
And that helps.
it's fun to watch.
Yeah, and that, I'm
them
sure that
evolve.
helps.
Yeah.
So a young person coming in, they learn the basics, shadow, and then maybe go into a chain
Yeah.
salon type of thing where they're going to get a lot of activity and get a lot of cuts and things of that nature.
And then the chain salons make the customers the chain customer. So
Yeah.
it's really hard for them to then move into a book. It's really,
Now, that is something else.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about the book.
they have it figured out.
Yeah, the book.
The chain salons have it figured out.
Right. So, and that's a real big part of your industry is the book. as
Your
we call
following,
it. Yeah,
or
the
call.
following, the people that you've been able to do. Because if you're in a chain store type of, those customers are the customers of that store, and I'm sure they have many agreements that you have to sign before you work in that.
Those used to hold true, but yeah, you have a following. If you change salons, you'll lose some clients, and they'll stay at that salon, not a chain, but in a private salon. Or you'll bring. I mean, I've been to 8 salons. I still have
So when you were
customers from in the 80s, late 80s.
yeah. So you're in a salon that you're working at, and
Right.
you have maybe 15, 20 customers in your base to come just to see you, and you've known
More
them
than that, but
I'm
for a long
sure
time.
I'm just pulling a number
Yeah, yeah.
out. And now you're allowed to take those with you. The people that you brought to the salon, you can take them with you, right? And then anybody that you met at the salon, does the salon say you can't take them, or that's?
The salon will have their information, but they're your customers. They're
Your
coming in that salon depending on where you're at to see you.
And you want to put a note out there about, you're looking for somebody. It's always important to get good people in these salon, your studio salon.
I think any business struggles to get
So what are
good
you
people.
looking for people to come to work with you?
I'm looking for a very motivated, driven person to either come and learn, or maybe somebody wants to change their salon and have a more, better schedule, and somebody help me out with the hours and help me in this journey to build this. Bridgeport's a growing area. There's lots going on. There's new housing and a team of Bridgeport strong.
There's a lot of younger people moving in. It's kind of
It
getting to be a
is.
yuppie area.
It's the perfect time for this rebrand and this growth because it's just right. It's happening.
So if somebody wanted to join your business,
I would love that.
and you're willing to help them get going and help them establish themselves, even if they bring somebody here, you can definitely increase that because you've been there for a while. You've done a great job on the unit. What's the web page that
Studio8color.com.
Studio 8 Color, and
You can book right online.
You can book right. And how about for somebody wants to look at a potential job, would they call?
Oh, they can contact me anyway on social media, Facebook, Instagram,
You
or the
want to leave
website.
the phone number for the salon?
That's right here.
You can. What's the number? The number is to call.
Oh.
Colleen is 848.
No.
484.
484
484. Once you.
254-4055. I'm sorry, not this one.
Okay.
But that's my logo.
Okay.
So that would be great. I would love to bring somebody on.
Good. So if
That
you're
would
out
be
looking
good.
for a job and you want to get into join a great salon, looks beautiful.
Thank you.
And Colleen will be there, but she has the background to help and make you a better salon artist. I just want to hold up a picture of the
That's part of it, yeah.
part of your salon that you've redone. And,
Rebranded, yeah.
Rebranded it, and it's very effective, and it's on 8th West 5th Street in Bridgeport, correct?
In the West
Studio 8.
Color.
And color, and you have all these things that you do there, and I think it's been great sitting and talking to you.
Thank you.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. So if you need to get your hair done and you want to try a new place, Colleen's the person for you. 8th West 5th Street in Bridgeport, just around the corner. Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.